Who is excited about hair trends for 2021? If you're new to my channel and if you're not, welcome back. I'm Mike. I'm a hairdresser, a L'Oreal color specialist, a makeup fan and a skincare lover. In today's film we're going to be talking about my predictions of hair color trends, haircut trends and hair trends in general for 2021. So if you want to find out what are going to be the hot hair trends of 2021, then you better keep on watching. What is the story, everyone? In today's film, we're going to be talking about my predictions of hair trends for 2021. And if you're watching this in the new year, it's January, and I mean, what a year 2020 has been. So let's put the year behind us and let's talk about hair trends for 2021. I'm going to divide this film into 3 different sections, and I'm going to put a timestamp on every section. So if you're interested in one or the other, you can check that out. So we're going to be talking about hair color trends for 2021, hairstyles for 2021, and men's hair for 2021. Now, when it comes to trend predictions, as we all know, Pantone has not released their color of the year yet, and this is what hairdressers usually go by. But when it comes to predicting trends, I really watch social media and I watch what's happening in my chair as a hairdresser. So towards the end of the year, you can start seeing a shift and what clients like, or what are they showing you pictures of, and that kind of gives you an idea what's going to be big next year. So you guys, let's get right into it, starting with hair color. Officially, the 90s are back. And I believe that 90s are going to be a huge inspiration when it comes to trends for 2021. And that's been showing slowly at the end of last year. So I definitely think that 90s are back. So if you grew up in the 90s, or if you're a 90s kid or anything to do with 90s, this is gonna be the year to relive it again. Obviously, when it comes to the hair color, the stripe is gonna be a bigger hit than it was last year. At the end of the last year, we could start seeing people getting more of that blocky color at the front of the hair, and the money piece, so-called, in your balayage hair was very defined. So it was all about having this big stripe. So it was very inspired by, let's say, the Spice Girls. But I definitely think the stripe is gonna be a big hit this year, and you could see it all over social media, and I think we're gonna see it more, and it's gonna be all about having that big blocky piece at the front of your hair. Chunky highlights are back, and I thought I'd never see that day again. When I say chunky highlights, I mean we're talking about very chunky highlights and very chunky lowlights. And I've actually came across that on social media, and I seen this picture and I was like, oh, I kind of like it. And do you know what? I didn't want to say that I liked it, but I actually really liked it. So if you're a highlighted client, you'll definitely start noticing that you'll want to see more contrast in your hair. It's going to be nearly like having 2 lowlights to 3 blonde highlights. So when we're thinking about, let's say, the Rachel. When it comes to chunky highlights, we're definitely going to see chunky highlights in balayage, and we did see it this year. Well, at the end of this year, we did see it that the balayage was a lot more chunkier, and it was all about having nearly like streaks going through your hair instead of that soft blended pieces. So everything is going away from being soft and natural and blended to being really bold and out there and being really streaky. Color blocking is going to be huge, and that's given. Color blocking is it for this year. And what I mean by color blocking is, so color blocking is basically having 2 different colors that are blocks of colors in your hair. So you could see, for example, is like the stripe is a color block. Another thing you could see is nearly the underneath of the hair being all blonde and the top being brown. So it's nearly like blocks of colors going through your hair. Now, blonde is only an example. You could have nearly, let's say, blonde and copper. You could have a black and white. You could have all those different combinations of colors going through it. You could have, let's say, brunette and copper. Like, there's going to be so many different ideas and variations of it. But definitely color blocking is going to be a huge thing in 2021 when it comes to hair color. When it comes to our lovely brunettes, chocolate brown is going to be the color of 2021. So it's going to be all about having much darker hair and very rich and chocolatey tones. And when I say chocolatey tones, when we think of chocolate, is loads of people think that chocolate is bright, but when we actually look at chocolate, chocolate is actually quite dark. So I find that a lot with clients. People come in, they're like, I want chocolate brown. I'm like, are you sure? They're like, yeah. I put it on, they're like, oh, it's very dark. I'm like, have you seen a light chocolate? I mean, you didn't ask for white chocolate, did you? You said chocolate brown. Chocolate brown is a lot darker and richer, so we're definitely going to see that along the side of our brunettes. When it comes to reds and coppers, everything is going to be a lot more vibrant. So when last year everything was very soft, so we spoke about like our honey blondes, we spoke about our like strawberry blondes, everything is going to be like in your face red or in your face orange copper. And like that, you could also see with coppers and reds, you could nearly see color blocking going through with that. So you could have like a lovely redhead with like a vibrant fire red pieces going through it, or copper with like very vibrant pieces of orange going through it. Now when we're talking about our medium blondes and dark blondes, or cool tones are going to be in this year. So when I'm talking about cool tones, we're talking about mushroomy blondes and very ashy blondes. So everything is going to be all about being very flat and neutralized and nearly look natural. So the colors are going to look a lot more natural nearly, if that makes sense. It's not going to be very rich and vibrant looking when it comes to like dark blondes and medium blondes. Everything is going to be really flat, ashy, nearly greeny looking, if that makes sense, but very mauvey and ashy undertones of colors. When it comes to bleach ups and blondes, roots are going to be the thing in 2021. So everything is going to be more about that, I call it trashy blonde, if that makes sense. It's not that perfect white, silvery, clean looking blonde. It's nearly that yellowy, natural looking blonde with a root. I know it sounds disgusting, but trust me, watch this space it's going to be in. We've seen some celebrities wearing a root already, but I mean the roots are going to be in this year. So if you're blonde, try to grow out your roots, and the lockdown is actually a brilliant time for that. So you're actually on trend already. The big trend I want to be talking about that's going to be huge in 2021 is smoky hair color. So what is smoky hair color? Smoky hair color is inspired by makeup. So when we think about smoky, we have our transition shade, we have our deeper shade, and then we have our blending out shade. So we have 3 different colors, and it's same going to be with our hair, and that's going to be on a very deep, cool palette. So loads of brands, and watch this space, there's a big campaign coming out about smoky hair colors. We basically gonna have a really cool deep root, then we're gonna have a mid band with a slightly lighter color fading into lighter ends. So it's nearly like a balayage, but it's gonna be a lot more drawn out. So if a regular balayage is like really blonde up here, right? Like remember balayage as being like really high up, everything is gonna go back down. So instead of being really blonde up here, we're just going to get the blonde around the ends. And when I say blonde, I mean just light. And then from here down, we're going to get the transition. So it's going to be really dark, cool and deep, fading into lighter, into your brighter color. Moving on to hairstyles or haircuts of 2021. Layers, 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 layers are coming back. So in the last few years, we definitely seen like very blonde and heavy lines, no layers, everything was very much one length. The layers are coming back. So everything is going to be layered, textured, and there's going to be a lot more movement to the hair. Everything is going to be a lot more tousled and fresh looking instead of set looking. So it's going to be very much like wash and go and just have like loads of layers and very textury look. So like that, it's going to be very, very 90s. The mullet is back. We've seen some celebrities rocking it. I mean, I've done a mullet for a hair competition 2 years ago and I came second with that. So, I mean, the mullets are back. Now, I'm not talking about like your 80s mullets. They're kind of modern new mullets. So it's basically like a fringe with just shorter layer and length and just more layering around the face. So a lot of that is going to be in this year. And I think mullets are like my favorite haircuts to do. I think they're absolutely stunning if they're done right. The Rachel haircut. And I mean, who'd ever think that the Rachel will be back? But all that layering around the face is definitely going to be big in 2021 because as we said, layers are coming back. So there's going to be a lot more shorter and heavier layering going on in your hair. And probably when you're watching this film, you're like, oh, I can't believe that's going to be a trend in 2021. Watch it in 6 months time, you're going to be getting chunky highlights and layers in your hair. And then you're going to come back to it, it's like, oh yeah, Mike was right. Crimping is going to be big. So crimping hair is going to be big when it comes to styling the hair. So we definitely seen a lot of waves this year and very much tousled and boho looks. I think crimping is going to really come back in for the party season. Party season, there's no parties, but I definitely think crimping is going to come back. So like your tight crimping and just making the hair really, really big. Hair accessories are going to be back. We're going to see scrunchies. I mean, I've seen loads of brands actually coming out with scrunchies lately. So scrunchies are going to be big this year, and like butterfly clips and all that kind of stuff when it comes to hair accessories. So hair accessorizing is going to be very, very big, including scarves as well. And like I said, effortless hairstyles. So nothing that is too fussed, nothing that has to be too much styled. It's like I said, mullets and all, and like the Rachel. So basically something that you can wash, cut and just blast it off and it's going to look good. You want something that's going to be grungy. The shag is going to be very big, and the shag is like the sister of a mullet. It's just a lot of layers that are kind of concaved out and that are giving you that kind of shaggy result that you can literally just tongue your hair slightly and you're getting that shag. Also, bangs are going to be big, so everything's going to go more that way, so it's going to be more curtainy, and I am so excited for 2021 when it comes to hairdressing. Right, you guys, moving on to men's hairstyle, because as we all know, men do get forgotten when it comes to hairdressing, but not on this channel. Now, when it comes to fashion with men, it's very because I mean, men do whatever they want to do. Like, fellas will just get short back and sides for about 20 years of their life because they're afraid to look different. And on this channel, we're all about looking different and not looking like everyone else on the street. So there's two main hairstyles that are going to be huge for men in 2021. And one of them are curtains. So anything from like Backstreet Boys, that's what you're thinking of. That's going to be big for men. So curtains, middle split parting. We also going to see mullets for fellas. So they're not going to be like mullets. It's going to be more of a softer mullet, not too long, kind of to about here with a bit of a fringe and nice textured looking style. Also, gelled back looks are going to be back, so anything with gel and wet looking is going to be huge for men. So we're talking more about having a bit more length in our hair, that we can nearly do a side split and gel that back or gel everything back. That crispy wet look is going to be everything this year. Right, you guys, when it comes to 2021 trend predictions, I think there's something for everyone. Like that mullets are going to be big, the Rachel is going to be big, layers are going to be big, color blocking is going to be big, vibrancy is going to be big. I am so excited for this year. Please let me know in the comment section down below what you're thinking, and are you going to change your hair in 2021? Are you going to go for any of those trends, or how do they sound to you? Are they appealing or not? Because I mean, the chunky highlights do sound rather scary, and I mean, I haven't done chunky highlights in quite some time. So are we going to see cap highlights coming back? Comment in the section down below if you had cap highlights or you remember cap highlights. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching today's film. I hope you found this film rather interesting, helpful and useful. Please like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel. Also, check out my other social media. And of course, you guys, please take care. Bye.